Welcome back to a casted game of Age of Empires 4. Today we've got Kiljardi playing the most noble of civilizations, the Byzantines. Definitely one of the harder civs to play out on the ladder right now. And he's playing up against a very formidable opponent. He's going to be playing against Valdemar, playing as the OG French. So a little bit of the new civs versus the old. So you've seen a lot of Joan of Arc out on the ladder. But we've got the original French. Valdemar going to be playing them, and today we are playing on the map. This is Gorge, and this is a live ladder game I've been catching, so we'll see who's able to win this Conqueror 3 showdown. Kiljardi opening up with 2 villagers on the stone, adding a few. I'll show you the villager split here at the top. I know a lot of you like to see that in the Dark Age, and we'll be moving out to gold, I think, after he adds the next villager to food. And I've been catching a bunch of Kiljardi games. He is quite a good Byzantine player and a player for you to look up to if you are trying to get better at the Byzantine. So I'm going to be watching his games very, very closely. And that is in fact what he did. He added 6 to food and now is going to be going out to the gold. Now his cistern there going to be covering both the stone outcropping as well as the gold veins. So going to be getting the bonus from that. And just going to put 2 villagers on gold. So 2 on stone, a delayed 2 villagers on gold, and now he's going to be going to his sheep. That's pretty much going to be the opening. Taking a look at the scouting pattern here on Gorge, you typically want to cover the outskirts of the map. So he went for a diagonal pattern here to the corner of the map right away. You're going to be looping back, grabbing as many sheep as possible, able to get a few. And I want to hear from you guys down in the comment section. How have you felt about the new sheep spawns that there have been on some of the newer maps? The sheep distribution has changed quite a bit. I find on some maps, I'll scout like literally half the map and get no sheep at all. So I'm very curious if you guys like it, dislike it, have any opinions on those new sheep spawns. And that's one of our new statues there in the middle. I'm not sure exactly which one that is or how you unlock it, but it looks like perhaps that's gotta be like sushi or something, right? It's gotta be. Okay, Kiljardi going to be aging up with the, Valdemar going to be aging up with the School of Cavalry. Not a big surprise there. 5 villagers on that. It's going to be looking to age up rather quickly. And you'd assume you would see some knights, but I will say I've seen from a lot of Joan of Arc players, and I'd imagine French will be similar, starting to maybe open with a little more spearmen and archers earlier on and not just trying to get away with purely knights. But that could depend on if he tries to go for stone next. He could move these villagers out here and go for a 2-2 seat. Of course, the original French, their villager training scales with each age, so they produce villagers faster as they age up. So 2 TCs can really help you outscale a Byzantine opponent. But Kiljardi likes to play the Byzantines rather aggressively, so we'll see how he goes for this. He's opening up with the Imperial Hippodrome. This is pretty much the School of Cavalry for the Byzantines. Look at this lovely Byzantine architecture. Always fun when there's a little elevation on the map. You get a little extra view there. I love how it looks. I'm hoping we have a new patch coming out very soon. Maybe, you know, as whenever I post this video, maybe we'll have a new patch. It is the beginning of December, and typically they patch the game once a month, so hopefully very, very soon we'll be getting a new patch. And in it, I sure hope there's some Byzantine buffs, but I guess we will see. We've been surprised before, so who knows? A lot of new civilizations, a lot of new things to tweak, so you never really know, what might change. Okay, so we got a 3rd cistern coming down, so that will be giving him the 60% training speed when he finishes this. And I think you're going to see Kiljardi training a ton of horsemen. And the way he likes to do this, see he's 6 on food and then he's only just now adding villagers to wood. If you keep 6 on food while you're aging up, it allows you to keep a constant queue of horsemen. So you're going to see here he'll have enough to queue a horseman and a villager right when he hits the feudal age. And boom, there you go. We're going to see a horseman most likely coming out, and he's also got a villager in queue. Okay, so 3rd cistern's out. Let's see what's going on Valdemar's side. So Valdemar, a lot of villagers on gold. So this indicates he is going to be opening up with a knight. Sometimes you see a really early barracks or archer range drop down, but that's not going to be the case here today. Certainly doesn't look like he's going for a 2nd town center expansion. So Valdemar coming across the map with his Royal Knight, going to be looking to try to hit a raid. Of course, the Horsemen are there, taking some shots at that first Knight. Kind of curious how that Knight took so much damage. He must have just turned around immediately, but that's kind of surprising. Maybe he ran under the TC and we just missed that. It does look like there's been a villager kill, so I think he must have sniped a villager that we missed. And oh, we're about to see maybe another one go down. Just like that, Valdemar, he's able to kill the 2 stone villagers. That's definitely what happened there. So yeah, what at the cost of half of the health of a knight, definitely been a good pickup. So the French taking an early villager lead here against the Byzantines, up by 4 villagers. And that's going to be the challenge in this matchup. It's definitely a ticking clock as the French will get further ahead economically. Really, the Byzantine eco doesn't scale a whole lot. I mean, you do get the additional cistern improvement, but you know, what is a 15% increase rate when you're losing 2, 3, or 4 villagers? You know, it's hard to say, to do the exact calculations there. And we've got a horseman going down. Valdemar so far making some very nice raids with his knights. Going to be coming around the other side as well. And Kiljardy trying to get his barracks online. Going to be trying to get some Levant Knight. Let's look at his line of sight so you can kind of see, you know, his perspective. He sees knights circling his base, able to garrison. Of course, though he gets a few shots off at those knights, that's his eco being idled. And every time that eco gets idled, that's going to slow down his military production and allow the French to start to get ahead. And we do see that Valdemar has added in a barracks, because you know, okay, your opponent's going to have horsemen, he's making spears, you can just make a lot of spears along with your knights. So he does use Triumph, going to try to pick off a few of those knights, but Valdemar not going to take that fight, going to run away. I think he's going to lose a scout here, which it's always good. The knights don't have a ton of line of sight, as you can see here, so picking off that scout kind of helps you maneuver around them a little bit. And he's able to heal a few of these horsemen up with that Triumph. And it looks like he will get one of these knights down. Will he get a second one here as he gets close to the TC? I think that knight is going to just barely get away. Even you see how important scouts are. He's in fact going to train an additional scout there to accompany his knights. So going to be defending the gold. He kind of expects this horseman. That's typically where you want to hit the French, right, is at the gold. But with a few of those spearmen, he's going to be able to defend this pretty easy. Oh, I thought that was a villager at first, but it is just a spearman. So with Triumph, able to do a little bit of a dive there next to the TC. But Kiljardy not able to kill any villagers. Gonna actually start working on that blacksmith. I doubt he'll actually get that, as there's gonna be spearmen coming out here to go after him. As you see, Valdemar gonna be positioning right now. Let's see if he pulls the horseman in time. He takes some damage from the knights. 1 horseman goes down. 2 horsemen go down. And on the other side, villagers going as well. 2 villagers, 2 horsemen. You can see just how quickly these knight raids can even take off some of the best. Kiljardy, one of the best players in the game here up against Valdemar. Of course, Valdemar, very, very, very good as well. But look at the villager difference right now. Valdemar up by 10 villagers. Kiljardy needs to get some kind of momentum here. And right now, it's kind of putting out a fire here. He did some damage to this barracks, but that didn't do much. And as you see, Valdemar feeling so confident, he's now moved out to the deer in the middle of the map. And very quickly, this is looking really, really grim for the Byzantines. I watched these Kiljardy games hoping to see some Byzantine wins, but ooh, I'm nervous here. But he ain't out of this yet. Let's see what he's got in store here. Now, I have noticed watching some of these Kiljardy games, he does not go for the berries. He kind of ignores the mercenary aspect until the later stages of the game. Just now dropping down a blacksmith, going to go for some of his upgrades. Wonder if it'll be enough. Popping Triumph once again. And now we've got some of the Lematine. He's got a nice mass of Lematine, so he can actually push Valdemar back and maybe even idle these villagers if he gets enough progression here. Yeah, not enough spearmen really to take this fight, and there's no Joan of Arc here to kill your spearmen quickly. So this is a very nice fight for Kiljardy. Gonna actually engage onto the spears. Horseman trying to kite around. He's trying to get his Lematine in there, and Kiljardy making some nice progress. Not really picking off a ton of units, but doing a lot of damage, and this is a lot of eco idle time. You gotta think these villagers walked all the way out here. That was 7 villagers idled, and then they turn all the way around. So that's very nice pickup for Kiljardy. Gets a little bit of map control and pushes Valdemar back into his base. Now Valdemar is starting to add in archers. Now one thing to note about when you're making archers against the Byzantines, their spearmen, the Byzantines, they have this shield wall ability, and when they activate it, they are going to take 50% less range damage. So that is quite significant. So if you look at an archer here, there's one of his archers. I'm gone blind. There's one. Okay, so if you look at the archers, they do 5 damage right now, right? So I'm not sure how they calculate if they actually take like 2.5 damage. I don't know if it rounds up. Probably does. Somebody knows the answer to that. Let me know. But essentially, that's what they're looking at. So pretty nice, halving that. Kiljardi with the horsemen having a greater speed, able to run away from those knight charges. Very nice, able to dodge that. And we see him actually moving out to the berries now, about just past the 10-minute mark. Going to be on the berries and adding in a 4th cistern. And we do see archery range coming down in the base as well. Now, he knew he needed to get some kind of surge for his eco, and he went for the boar in the top corner of the map. Going to be one of the best gather rates as far as huntables you can do here. And he's walling it in with some palisades, so able to kind of secure this for the time being. And very interesting, Voldemar gone for the exact same thing on the opposite side. A very good note. Yes, Madam Miller, you are correct there. I did miss that detail. I forgot to mention, yeah, they get a +5 versus infantry. So earlier I said 2.5 damage. It would actually be cut in half. They would be doing 5 damage, right? Because they do a total of 10 versus spearmen. Sorry, I misspoke on that one earlier. Good thing we got Twitch chat here. Okay, so Voldemar gets his wall up just in time before Kiljardi's raids come in, but Kiljardi does recognize that's going on, and I'm not sure Voldemar has scouted this yet. It hasn't scouted the boar. He might kind of know it's there, kind of how it spawns. I'm going to come down mid, but there are Lamantinai there as well as an outpost, so Kiljardi actually saw that coming from a while away, able to prevent that raid, and he's 10 villagers down right now. So for Voldemar, he just kind of wants to drag this out, let his eco get ahead a little bit. Now, there is the scaling of the cistern. He's got level 4 now, so 20% buff, that's certainly good. But Kiljardi chasing these knights with this Lamantinai, they will never catch them. Okay, so right now, back on the other side of the map, we've got kind of an archer spear mass defending. So a lot of times you want to use your horsemen or your cavalry to go for raids, while infantry a little better suited at defending your expansion. So he's got his, spearmen out here near the gold, using a tower also to help to defend that. Trying to go for a raid here. It looks like maybe he's going to go for a surround on some of these knights. I almost wonder if he'll pop Triumph again. I think he's just looking to see if there's anything to raid, perhaps, as he travels around here. A nice pickup here for his Lamantinai. They got some hits on those knights. Voldemar has split his army, and I think that's just a little bit of a miss-micro there, as he's actually going to lose a knight as it runs by the outpost. And you do see Kiljardi picking up some of those military upgrades of the blacksmith. Ooh, but a raid coming in on the berries one, and this is another struggle. You're on the berries, you're getting food slower from it. The trade-off is to get the olive oil, right? But he's had to lose more villagers now, which really stinks as he puts his eco even further behind. You can see 35 versus 50. It's just so hard to deal with as this game will drag on. Kiljardi has kind of got a few raiding forces. He's checking the northeast side to see if there's anything out there, but all these villagers are up in that corner right there. And he's going to be coming back home with these infantry and horsemen. And as you see the army count rise, this is where that economy is going to really start to shine for Voldemar. He's going to start to get this critical mass, and when he does take a big fight, he's got knights. Will Kiljardi, he's going to have a few Keshik, most likely thanks to this olive oil, should he get that out. You actually see him popping Triumph right now, going for a raid. Is he able to get some of these villagers? Does he have the Exploratories upgrade? He does have it, so doing some additional damage to the villagers there, but not able to get any raids. Look at this. Voldemar hasn't lost a single villager, even though Kiljardi has been very active with his horsemen. And, he's been using this Triumph to go for these raids, which means come big fight time, he's not going to have that healing on those horsemen. He kind of needs Voldemar to miss micro some of these knights into some Lamantinai. It's probably one of his best bets. That boar still about 500 food left. He's going to have to move out. Probably these deer. He could just extend this wall and move up to that. Would be a nice little expansion. Kind of fortunate for him. Voldemar's deer is on the opposite side of the map from his boar. Looking at the macro of both players, both looking to stay in the second age for some time. Let's check out what he's getting. And it is going to be Keshik. That's typically what you see him doing here against the French. I think in most cases, Keshik are just going to be your better option. You do see the longbows. I probably see javelins the least frequently. And I'm kind of curious. I really want to see a Byzantine versus English game and see, are players using those javelins, or are they still going with the Keshik? But let me know what mercenaries you like to choose. I mean, it's really going to be, depending on the where you are in the ladder, you probably have a little more flexibility in the options you're choosing, certainly. Okay, but Kiljardi putting a pretty considerable sized army together, staying in line with Voldemar's army size. You gotta think those knights, though, a little more valuable. But he could perhaps take a fight while the knights are out of position. But look, a little bit of raid back at home. Might lose another villager. He's dancing around that tower and going to try to, oh my gosh, garrison that low HP villager at the last second, which he does, and do some extra damage. Some arrow slits would help him maybe take this knight out. But he did pick up the textiles upgrade, almost said loom, which is what it's called in other Age of Empires games. He's able to keep that villager alive, though. Very nice micro from Kiljardi, and now going to be looking to nuke this outpost. Well, I thought he was going to, but going to move in here, and I think he'll probably back up as he sees that infantry mass from Voldemar. And that is going to be happening. We do see, looks like the outpost is going to go down. Knights are back at home, so the raiding force for Voldemar has kind of retreated. I think that knight did die that was out there. So Kiljardi actually going to grab some houses, and Voldemar looking to age up. Kiljardi not going to be aging up. You can see his food and gold. He's spending everything he has, and I almost wondered, like, is this going to be the moment of opportunity for Kiljardi? Voldemar has probably backed off just slightly on his military production in order to macro for this age up. And will this be a nice timing attack for Kiljardi? Has he gone for his ram upgrade? He's going for it. So I think he senses that this is coming. He's been able to keep Kiljardi, or Voldemar, off of the deer, which is very nice. He has been taking a look at those deer, and he can even look through the fog of war basically and see that they're alive, so you know that they're not gathering yet. It's a little trick you can do, is you can look through the fog of war and see if the animals are still there. If you start to see like less deer, that means they're gathering. So just a little scouting tip for you. But let's see right now. Kiljardi just continuing to make spearmen, some archers, and just now going to be working on that siege engineering. Could come in quite quickly if he has a cistern turned on to Dialecticus, but he does not right now. So it's going to take the full time. And we see that Royal Institute. So this is going to be the time for Kiljardi to strike. 63 versus 46 villagers. He does not want this game to drag on. I really am not sure if it's going to be enough. His best bet might be starving Voldemar out of food, as you do see Voldemar starting to make a farm transition. But there could be perhaps a keep drop down soon. He could go for additional town center. A few options now for Voldemar. But right now, Kiljardi kind of has some map presence, and we do see him putting Herosophan. So here we go, guys. Will Kiljardi be able to pull off this push? Ideally, typically, I feel like you want to make these timing pushes as your opponent is aging up or just before they age up. So this is going to be a little tricky. You see a stone tower there. That's going to be hard to take down. And now you're going to see some of those veterancy upgrades coming in. And he's going to have these by the time this fight hits. Just another 20 seconds. So Kiljardi, he might have some time to pick off a building or a house. Not to mention Arbitrier will help with taking out some of these Keshik. And in come the Rams, and you see he's targeting the military buildings, not messing around, spending any time at all, actually targeting both barracks. So unfortunately not going to be in time to stop that spearman upgrade. I almost wonder if he'd pull some villagers, because he does have the villager advantage, and what a timing to hit a night raid. Wow. Okay, so here we're going to see it. Is this enough for the Byzantines to take out the French base? This is going to be a heck of a fight, trying to take off the barracks and the archery range. He's able to take the barracks down, archery range also on fire. Hirosophan's doing a lot of damage, but this army count, let's see what he's able to do. Using the archers to try to pick off the spears. I don't know if there's any man arms right now here. There are not, but you do see that army count of Kiljardi starting to dwindle. And I just wonder, has he done enough damage? And I think the answer is going to be absolutely not. 70 villagers for Valdemar. He's in a formidable position economically. Sure, he lost some of his military production, but he can build that back. And Kiljardi, that was everything he had. Like, sure, he can age up now, but he has no army. And now he's going to be staring down this veteran army of the French. And it's going to be a really, really bad position for Kiljardi. You know, I'm always rooting for the Byzantines. We're a Byzantine enjoyer. But, man, the French doing a very good job. Valdemar just turtling up, going for that castle push, kind of forcing Kiljardi to go for that, you know, what I would consider kind of a little bit of an all-in there, because, I mean, what are you going to do? You know your opponent's going to be up on villagers, even if you don't lose a single villager, and he's lost 12 villagers this game. Look at that villager difference. Even if we added those 12 back, right, that would put him on like 60 villagers, he'd still be behind 14 or so vills. So really, really, really hard. We see additional raids coming in. A keep being dropped. Valdemar says, get out of this game. This is mine, Kiljardi. And at this point, Kiljardi's got to know the writings on the wall. He's trying to age up. Cistern of the First Hail coming in right now on the south side. This does give him the Pilgrim Flask ability, which could help as he trains maybe some cataphracts, but I don't know. With this infantry death ball with the keep, it's just unfortunately not going to be enough for the Byzantines today. Valdemar takes the win with the French. Let me know what you think about this matchup. Is it a very hard fight for the Byzantines to win? I'm hoping we see a little bit of buff for our Byzantines and hopefully a future patch. But for now, that's going to be this game. I hope you enjoyed this Casa game. If you did, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. I've got plenty more Byzantine content on the YouTube channel for you to enjoy. And I hope to catch you on next one of my live streams on twitch.tv/FitzBro. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.